What if the real reason you're not a billionaire yet isn't that you're not working hard enough, or you don't have the right business model, or you lack resources? What if the real issue is that you're focused on the wrong thing entirely?
Right now, you might be totally consumed with the goal, how do I make $1 billion? And look, that's a great goal, but there's a critical factor you might be overlooking. The person you are today just doesn't have the capacity to handle that level of success. The first hurdle isn't out there in the world, it's the gap between who you are now and who you need to be.
So here's the bottom line. The problem isn't your ambition. It's the internal framework, your mental operating system. Chasing a $1 billion goal right now is like trying to run brand new complex software on a computer from 1995. It's just gonna crash. The real first step isn't to just hustle harder, it's to transform yourself into someone who can actually earn, manage, and grow billions. So let's talk about that upgrade. What does it really take to build that new you?
All right, let's start the upgrade on the ground floor. Module 1, Foundational Beliefs. Because, and this is so important, what you believe on a core level literally shapes the reality you see and what you think is even possible. The thoughts in your mind today are building your future tomorrow. The very first belief you have to install is this simple but incredibly profound idea. Everything you see, the phone in your hand, trillion-dollar companies like Apple, Tesla, all of it was created by people who were, at their core, no more intelligent than you. They were just ordinary people who dared to act on extraordinary ideas. The second you start thinking that greatness is for some special, chosen few, you've already taken yourself out of the game.
And that idea connects directly to this key psychological principle, an internal locus of control. People who have this see themselves as the hero of their own movie. They don't sit around waiting for luck or destiny to save them. They believe their decisions are the pen that writes the script. They see themselves as the cause, not the effect.
And this process from Ray Dalio, it's that belief in action. It's a nonstop loop. You have clear goals. You identify, with total, brutal honesty, the problems standing in your way. You dig deep to find the root causes, not just the symptoms. You design a plan to get around them, and then you push through until you get results. It's a whole system built on personal responsibility and, keeping your word to yourself. Okay, so with that foundation in place, let's move up to Module 2. If your beliefs are the operating system, strategic thinking is the powerful software you run on it. This is all about how you process the world and make consistently better decisions. First up is a powerful mental model called inversion, made famous by the legendary investor Charlie Munger. Most of us, we obsess over the question, how do I succeed? Well, inversion flips that completely on its head. It forces you to ask, what would guarantee failure? You identify all the potential pitfalls, all the stupid mistakes, and then you just make it your mission to avoid them. It's about winning by not losing. Next is the idea of specific knowledge. Now, this isn't about being the best at what everybody else is doing. It's about escaping competition altogether. You find it at that unique intersection of your natural talents and your genuine curiosities. You basically build a business around something that feels like play to you, but looks like work to everybody else. That is a competitive advantage that no one can copy. In this model here, it's based on academic research, and it really pulls all of this together. It shows that success isn't just one simple thing. It's a complex engine where your personality, your skills, your environment, and your actions all have to work together in harmony. Simply hustling without the right mental models is like revving a powerful engine that's stuck in neutral. You're making a lot of noise, but you're not going anywhere. Okay, so you've got the beliefs and the strategic models. Module 3 is all about the action engine, how you actually translate all that thinking into consistent, real-world output, especially when you're dealing with the two biggest hurdles, risk and failure. Let's start with a hard number. Research shows that 90% of millionaires have gone through at least one major business failure before they made it. Just let that sink in for a second. Failure isn't just a possibility on the path to success, it's practically a prerequisite. It's part of the price of admission. So the crucial difference isn't avoiding failure, it's how you interpret it. The default mindset sees failure as a final verdict on your identity. I failed, therefore I am a failure. This new, upgraded mindset sees it as simple, unemotional feedback. It's valuable data. Okay, that strategy failed. It was expensive data, but now I know more. That emotional detachment, that's everything. It's what lets you get back up and try again, only smarter. And this is how you push through the fear of that failure. Jeff Bezos famously used his regret minimization framework when he was deciding whether to start Amazon. He pictured himself at 80 years old, looking back on his life, and he asked, Which would I regret more, trying and failing, or never trying at all? By stretching out that time horizon, short-term fear just becomes tiny compared to the weight of long-term regret.
But there is a huge warning that comes with all of this. What happens if you get the outcome, the money, without first building the internal framework to handle it? Well, that's when you run into the curse of sudden wealth.
And it's a real recognized condition called sudden wealth syndrome. This is the psychological fallout when someone just isn't mentally prepared for a massive influx of cash. It really proves that the mindset isn't just a tool to get the money, it's the necessary framework to keep the money and to not let it destroy you.
The symptoms are absolutely severe. People feel isolated from their old life. They become paranoid that everyone is after their money. They feel this intense guilt, like they don't deserve it. And often, they engage in self-destructive behaviors that lead them right back to financial ruin. It is a crystal clear sign that the person just wasn't ready for the success they got.
And this isn't just an individual problem, it's generational. Studies show that about 70% of wealthy families lose their fortune by the third generation. The money doesn't last if the mindset isn't passed down with it. That way of thinking, that's the true inheritance.
And this really brings us back to the absolute core of this entire mindset shift. The average person defines risk as losing what they have right now. But this framework shows you that the real risk, the one you should actually be afraid of, is staying comfortable and losing your potential.
So if you take just one thing away from this explainer, let it be this. The path to extraordinary success, it doesn't begin with a billion-dollar idea or a perfect business plan. It begins with a fundamental upgrade to your internal world. It starts by asking the right first question. Not what do I need to do, but who do I need to become?